First thing to do is to welcome you all to Architecture at Dundee, and to welcome those of you who've come from outside the city to Dundee. Actually, I imagine that there are lots, I hope there are lots of parents here to congratulate your kids and so on, and we're delighted to have you here. Dundee's going through something of a complete transformation, actually. It's gone from being a sort of provincial Scottish city to a world city, and architecture is very much at the centre of that, and your kids are very much part of that transformation, actually, so we welcome you here. A few housekeeping issues before we get started. I have to tell you in sort of airport fashion that there are 2 exits at the front and 2 exits at the rear, I've been told this year to inform you. So if the fire alarm goes off, which it shouldn't, please do evacuate the building. It won't be a drill. The other thing to say is that for the first time this year, we're actually live streaming the Degree Show with lots of video clips. You'll see cameras everywhere. So if you're here and you shouldn't be here, just be careful. Or if you're here and you're with somebody that you shouldn't be with, be very, very careful. The first thing I want to do sort of efficiently to thank the students. And the reason I'm thanking the students is, and students often forget this, is that when we have external examiners coming to examine you, actually what they're doing is examining us. And this year we have had exceptional feedback from the external examiners about the quality of the work that you have produced. So we, as staff, thank you for that, because it actually makes the school into something rather wonderful. One of the examiners commented that coming from London, he expected the further north he went, that he would be coming to a sort of provincial school, or that somehow the ideology or the sort of breadth of the school would be more provincial. And he said he's totally surprised that we're a European school, we're a global school. And that's not simply because of the international profile of the students that we attract to Dundee now, but actually also because of the work that we produce, the outward-looking work that's very European in its face. And I've always had the view with this school that we shouldn't be looking down to England and the metropolitan centres, but we should be looking over to Europe and their partners across there. And that's now been recognised externally, and we're very pleased that is the case. Just a word on our international students. We have students now from all over the world. We have a great contingent from China, who I've actually taught and sort of reviewed actually for the first time this year. And I have to say what a great pleasure it's been. You're great fun. And you add something to the school that we've never had before in terms of an incredible sort of work ethic and a sort of global outlook on the world, and a lack of fear about coming out of your own comfort zone into something completely different. Pijin was telling me about China being form first, no concern for the environment, no concern for context and the sort of social construct of an area making a piece of architecture. It was all about form, and she said coming here has taught her the other way around, and she wants to stay here and work here because she doesn't want to go back to form first. And I think that's a great recognition of what architecture in Dundee can actually do for international students. We have Brazilian students, we have Eastern European students, and you all give us something extra that we can't get from just our home students, and the mix is great, so thank you for that. Just a word about the city and part 2. I know a lot of you will be going off on your year out who have just graduated with your part 1. I just want to say, please come back to Dundee. Dundee's going to be a very interesting place over the next few years. We've got the V&A, which over the next 2 or 3 years, if you came back, you will see growing. We're a UNESCO City of Design, and it's going to be quite a transformational period in the city, and you have an opportunity to work and actually affect change in the city with some of the offerings that we have at Part 2. The Part 2 in Dundee is quite particular. Year 4, you do a very comprehensive integrated design. You get your professional skills, if you like. And year 5, we allow you to generate your position in the profession. And so we'd be very keen to see you back if you choose to do that. Not that we don't think that people who go abroad and go to really interesting places are not an asset to the school, because you are. You take us with you. So anyway, enough of all that. The reason we're here tonight is to celebrate success. But before we do that, it's your success. But I would like to say that I hope that part of that success is due to the input that the staff give you, even if it's just a little bit of success. So I would like you to join me in thanking all the staff of the school, the support staff and the academic staff, for what they've given you over the last few years. So thanks very much. Okay, enough of that. The reason we're here tonight is to celebrate that success. And this is the bit where I hand over to Ralph. And it's the important bit, because it's the bit where it's not the taking part that counts, it's the winning. So over to Ralph.
The first prize is the Archeo Prize in Year 1, which goes to the best student in Year 1. Given by Archeo, their director Kevin Cooper was supposed to come and give that this evening, but he's flying off to Boston this evening. His second choice to come and do it in his place was Russell Baxter. He's at a Bell and Sebastian concert. I mean, why would these guys not rather be here instead of going to Boston and going to a concert? But even better, we have an Archeo senior architect who's also a part-time tutor here, Neil Cookshank, to give out this award tonight. So the best first-year student this year goes to Leo Rani. Does anybody know if Leo's here? Are they on their way? Yeah. Okay, moving on, as Leo seems to be hurrying up, sorry. Yep. The next prize in Year 1 is the Gordon Lamb Prize. This is for exceptional and outstanding ability. And this goes to Karina Armanda. The next prize in Year 1 is the Staff Prize. Unfortunately, Jim Robertson, as Year 1 leader, can't be here tonight. He's about to head off to China, I think at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, so he's away to get his beauty sleep for that. The citation for that award is for sustained exemplary work, and it goes to Daniel Duncan.
Congratulations on Marcus.
And finally, in Year 1, the Dean Merit goes to Amy Schofield. Not a student of Amy's here, so we'll move on to Year 2 now. And we're very fortunate. One of the things, in case I forget to say it later on, is that one of the things that clearly makes our prize giving, as you've seen from the prize from Archeo, is that we're very, very lucky to have a number of people this evening who very generously come in and give prizes to the students. And I think it's no doubt that their contribution really helps make this evening a special event. So maybe it's not a good time to thank all of these people before we go on to the next one. So the first prize in year 2, the best second year student, is the Nicol Russell Award, and very glad to have Rick Russell here tonight to present that to you and Christy. The next award in year 2 is the Wolfgang Jabs Award. Wolfgang was a tutor here for a long number of years, retired a few years ago, but still kindly comes back every year to give his prize in year 2, which is for best research leading to good design, and this year that goes to Misako Elliott. The next prize in year 2 is the James McLaren Award. That goes to the most improved student. And it was funny, I've just noticed that just now. It says she's the most improved student, but last year she was the best student in year 1, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. So Rhea Patel has won that prize. The next prize in year 2 is the staff prize. Once again, another year leader, Joe Thurrott, just can't be with us tonight. So, but their award goes for sustained quality and effort, and it goes to Laura Hebden. The next prize is Fergus Purdy Award, another of our tutor awards that are given. This is for best design work, and that goes to Charlene Rasney. Charlene here? I think one of the interesting notes about Charlene, she's actually an Erasmus student. She's not one of our regular students, you would say. She's just been here for the year, so I think it's fantastic when an Erasmus student is able to come here and perform so well done to her. Finally, in year 2, the Dean Merit goes to Ross Cochrane.
He knew where the camera was, didn't he?
Now we move on to year 3.
Just happened to look this way, didn't he?
Year 3 being the Part 1 accredited course at the Dundee, of course. The first prize in year 3 is the Gordon Matheson Award, and that's for the best student in year 3. And this year that goes to Andrew Hopper. T. McLaren Award, and that's for the highest aggregated marking design, and that goes to Hugh Ebday. Moving on to the Guild Bequest in Year 3. The citation for that is for the most worthy student in Year 3. And this year that's awarded to Connor English. Moving on, the next two prizes in Year 3 are awarded specifically for written element of work as part of the coursework, which is, I think over the last few years become of increasing importance, and I think it's certainly an area of work that I've watched over the last few years steadily get better and better, so that now we're getting some dissertations on particularly integrated design reports that are of an excellent standard. Really some excellent work contained in these reports, so it's good that we're able to reward that endeavour. And on the basis that sometimes you can't keep good people down, the Part 1 Writing Prize this year for a distinguished piece of writing goes to Hugh Ebday. At the end of the day, the marks don't lie. The Michael Spence Award. The Michael Spence Award is given in memory of a very distinguished lecturer we had here at the university. Michael Spence was a true intellectual of architecture, an excellent writer about architecture, and for a long number of years he gave a valuable and very valued input to Dundee School of Architecture. He had a lot to do with raising the profile of our theory teaching, and in particular the way the students wrote about architecture as well. Sadly he died just over a year ago, and this award is still given in his memory. And delighted this year to announce that for the best design theory, the Michael Spence Award goes to Andrew Hopper. I think there's still a couple of things to go with Year 3, and I think it's a sort of reflection of the quality of the work in Year 3 that Graham decided to give 2 Dean Merits to Year 3 this year, the first of which goes to Henry Forbes. And the second Dean Merit goes to Sean McCallum. And one last, the final prize in Year 3. Just have your attention. Thank you. The final prize in Year 3 was actually awarded earlier in the year. It was actually a sketch design programme that was put together by the Dundee Institute of Architects, along with, they again are one of the organisations that are very kind in supporting awards to the School of Architecture. This was a design competition that ran early in the new year. the money has already been given out, but now I think it's a good opportunity to still recognise that work, that teamwork. The DIA are going to present the certificates for that prize. I'm delighted to welcome Joe Narsiper on behalf of DIA to give that award. And the 4 people who gave that award were Sasha Velatskaya, Sean McCallum, Callum McGregor and Luca Marulli. Swiftly moving on to the Part 2 course, and we start of course at Year 4. The best student in Year 4, we are very fortunate, Andrew Black contributes to this award. The Andrew Black Award this year goes to Peter Garrett Murray. The next award in Year 4 is the AIM Design Award. I'm delighted to welcome Jed Young, former president of the Dundee Institute of Architects, to present his award this evening. He's obviously finds it hard to make decisions because he couldn't pick a winner, so this year the award is shared between 2 girls, Grace Rowe and Deborah Martin. I'm not sure if this is a good time to remind Jed that he stole me a pint from this time last year. He lost. Oh, sorry, his team lost. Moving on, the Upstart Prize, Michael Thompson, who most of you all know, generously gave a prize for the most innovative use of brick in Year 4, and this year that goes to Deacon Corketer. The next prize in Year 4 is the Young Needham Prize, and that is for a 4th year student of outstanding ability. And this year that's won by Chris Berridge. We have another God and Lamb Prize this year. Again, as most of the students in this school would like to think, God and Lamb was a student at this college. He sadly died a number of years ago. This is an award, received awards that Brian Adams is kind of mostly responsible for. And it's quite interesting to read the citation. The citation for this is Architectural Optimism, and it goes to Bowen Liu. Moving on, The next prize is a relatively new prize. It's actually a prize that can be awarded anywhere in the school. It's given by a retired architect, Alfred Bullock, who unfortunately can't be here this evening. He started off giving the prize as the best sketchbook, but when he came in yesterday to have a look around the work, he was struck by one piece of work that he just happened to be walking past, wanted to find out a little bit more about it, and said, right, it's going to be a sketchbook this year. I think this is really great. I'd like to give my prize to this piece of work. It's actually a shared piece of work in year 4, and it goes for London is Growing Up. It goes to Stephen Sampson and Sean Leisman. It's always nice to see people who are genuinely surprised. Great piece of work, guys. Okay. Moving on, the Gilded Geddes Award. Lawrence, I think, is going to give us out. I just want to check now. This is, again, a group prize, and it kind of moved from 5th year to 4th year this year because it's quite a unique piece of work. It's the citation reads that it was for the most innovative design research into community. And what I'll do is I'll just read out all the names, and if you all come up one at a time as I read your names out, because it's quite a long list. Starting off with... You want to give a speech, and I'll read the names out?
I was going to give my speech.
Okay.
Those of you who know me know that I never miss an opportunity to stand in front of a microphone. And so I've taken over from Ralph here. While I'm speaking, I hope that Neil Vero's 4th year unit will slowly percolate down, because if the amount of time that other people have taken to come up here to get their awards is an indication, we could be here all night. Anyway, each year, and I think this is the 4th year, the Guildry of Dundee review student work in the architecture program and select what they view to be the best 4th and 5th year projects to receive the Guildry Geddes Award for Architecture and Urban Design. This year, as in previous years, the focus is on projects in the city of Dundee. This award goes to sponsoring a public exhibition and publication of the awarded work in the Central Library in Dundee. So it's really a fantastic opportunity for students to get their work out there. Anyway, just to say that the Guildry were founded in the 12th century when merchants in Dundee were granted a royal charter to freely organize and control trade in and out of the city. And until the war, until the mid-20th century, they were in charge of, they were the city planning authority for the city. And so, as a civic group, they've always maintained a very strong interest in the city and its built fabric. And one of the ways they maintain that interest is to give the Guildry Geddes Award in Architecture and Urban Design. And I've always thought that it's particularly significant because it's one of the few awards from a civic group that has such a distinguished provenance. So anyway, Howard Price, the Lord Dean of Guild, was here on Wednesday to look at work, and we agreed a joint first prize to the 11 students in Neil Vero's 4th year architecture studio for their... I said you should come up, didn't I? I said you should come up. You already got me. But it's a joint first prize to the 11 students for their design research into ASD community care homes in Dundee. And Howard regarded the work as particularly innovative and methodical, and also applauded its social agenda. And I think that's one of the things that really kind of turned him on. Malcolm, hi, could you come here? Would you like to hand these out? Professor Malcolm Horner will present the awards on behalf of Howard Price, who's not able to be here. Malcolm is a Guild member and Professor Emeritus in Engineering Management at Dundee. And among his many positions in professional business and academic bodies, I note that he's an honorary member of the RIAS. So anyway, I think that somebody, I guess I'll call out the names and hand these out to you.
I'm delighted to be able to tell you that Lawrence has said everything I was going to say. So that's
it. So I'm going to read them out, and I'm going to. Cauther is, I don't know. Is she? No, not here. Okay, Cauther L. Cariula, Gillian Brown. Anna Davila. Peter Garrett Moore.
yeah,
Beacon Culture. Lisa Rubicon. Eliza Serban. Nicholas Shepard. Elspeth Taylor. Rui Lang. Yi Zhu. Where's Neil? So let's have a hand for them and Neil. He won't come.
After all that, there's still one prize in year 4, the Dean Merit in year 4. Not sure if he's here yet, I haven't seen him, hopefully it's Sam Micklefield. There we go, is Sam here? Come on, good, he's on his way. Finally, we reached the final year, year 5. Now the first prize in year 5 is for the best student in year 5, and this is the Dundee Institute of Architects Award. It is effectively what I call the premier award in the School of Architecture. It's for the best student at the top end of the school, so this student can actually walk out and say, I'm the best student in Dundee School of Architecture. I'm delighted to welcome the Dundee Institute of Architects President Christine Palmer to give this award this evening. And the award goes to Mark Johnston.
Okay, this next award I give is the David Jameson Award. David Jameson was somebody who I practiced with for a number of years when I came here first, and he was an amazing guy actually. He worked through incredible adversity. He had sort of dialysis 3 times a week and eventually unfortunately died at the age of 37 with cancer. And he was an amazing architect, and he always wanted to see the space. What's the space like of this thing that I'm making? He taught himself computing. He did lots and lots of innovative things, I think, and he was a wonderful man. And so I wanted to remember him by giving a special award to somebody who I thought in the school, in any year, actually makes a space, an architectural space, renders an architectural space that's memorable. And this year I've looked around the whole school, and without being sort of partisan, I want to give it to Cara Bromta.
Is the Level 6 Portfolio Editorial Team. This is, I'm not sure, I think this is for, you know, a group effort in putting all the year work together at the end of the presentation. And 4 students are sharing this award: Georgette McKinley, Mark Johnson, Amir Henry and David Byrne. And finally, soon be able to let you all get back and refresh your drinks and socialise and enjoy the rest of the evening. Final prize, Year 5 Merit, Dean Merit, goes to Rory Brogan. Okay, well that brings us to the conclusion of the Prizegiving element of the Architecture Degree Show. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming here, all our visitors in particular. I noticed a few faces that have come back after a couple of years' absence. Always good to see old friends. And also to finally thank all the students in the school for all their efforts. No matter whether you win a prize or not, I think you should always, the majority of you always should look back on a sense of achievement and having done really well. So thank you all for all your work and effort. Enjoy the rest of the evening.